Hey there, McAllister here with Toasty DIY, and today we're going over Notoriety in D&D with this handy little sheet I made right here. Oh, right here. Whoops. So the point of this sheet is to help your players feel like they're really becoming heroes. Might work for villains as well, but in my world I'm going for heroes, not villains, so this doesn't really work like bounties or anything for evil characters. However, you could adapt this where they're going to get the same perks but from good aligned creatures, however you want. But let's go ahead and look through the sheet and just kind of get an idea of what it's for. So at the top, we have the party and all that right here. So with the party members, this is just so we can mark down who's what and all that stuff. Next, we have our notoriety levels right here. This is how you know when you get the points and the perks below, and then how many points are needed to reach each category. In the middle, we have the most important part, the notoriety log. This will be where they mark down who knows them and how many points they've earned with them. When they reach certain milestones, they'll get certain perks with that faction, group, or other. So an example of how this might work is, let's say the players are in a small town and there's a blacksmith who's had his hammer stolen. They do him a favor and, he says, I'd like to pay you 100 gold. Thank you so much. This hammer's a family heirloom. I had a ton of gold. I want to pay you. That would probably get them 1 or 2 points for this quest, because a small little minor fetch quest is probably 1 to 5 points at most. But if they chose to, let's say, not accept payment, you'd give them extra notoriety. And you can tell them, you'd become more liked and more well-known if you do things for free. So you're trading for the future discounts, possibly to get recognized, to get a minor discount from his store, which might save you more than 100 gold over the course of the game. So let's say that this blacksmith's name was Taryn, and now they've done Taryn a favor. They have 3 points with them. They're still not recognized. They're not really getting a perk, but he knows who they are, and they have him marked down. Let's say that a few quests from now, Taryn has another issue, and now his daughter's been kidnapped. Whatever the reason being, they go save the daughter, and they choose to not accept payment again, and this quest was more dangerous. There was a cult. He took it down, and the town's pretty thankful to him. So is Taryn. It all initiated with him. And now, when they reach recognized, it is no longer just Taryn. It is whatever you think Taryn's closest circle is. And if it's a small town, maybe it's a village that likes them, and now they're recognized in this village. If it is, maybe just the circle of blacksmiths that are really grateful to him, then maybe you just put down, the blacksmith circle. It can no longer remain just Taryn, because now Taryn's telling all his friends about you. Once you become recognized, you should change the who to somebody more grand. And at some points, what I think is interesting is this should roll together. Let's say you did some deeds for the town nobles, and you did 4 or 5 quests for them, and now you're at like 15 points. Because you're at 10, 15 points with the nobles, and you're at 10 points with the blacksmiths guild, at some point when they're about at 25 each, they might roll together and make you reputable in the town. You just erase the 2 separated factions and they become reputable to the town. And if they do better and better and they impress the king, they maybe become famous in the region. And so now they can be famous in towns they've never even been to, because as they move up, you have to expand the scope of the who, because there's still a chance they enter a new continent and they are not legendary. They are not known over there, because I think that this follows the scale of D&D pretty well, where at levels 1 to 5, you're saving a village. At levels 5 to 10, you're saving a small county or small kingdom. And at level 10 to 15, you are saving a continent. And at level 15, 20, you're saving a world. So as things come together, remember that you can roll together groups. So I hope that by the end of my game, my players are famous in the town they're from, because I can add all those points together. And then I could at any point ask you, hey, can we take this and move ourselves up to reputable? We feel like the Alliance of Mages and the Blacksmiths Guild are 2 closely connected factions. Can we roll that together and become reputable with them? You may say yes. And the nice thing is, let's say they do a quest for the nobles and the nobles are against the blacksmith. Watch one rise and watch one fall, and they have to choose, we're not able to roll these together. Who do we do? Who do we try to help? Things like that. All right, let's go ahead and go over all the perks just so you kind of know why you might want to be famous or legendary. So first off, there's no statistical benefit to being unknown for the most part, but your players might remind you, they don't know who we are here. They don't know we're the Dragon Hunters. Can we sneak into this event because they don't know that we're high level? That'd be kind of fun if they want to go into a tournament that they're maybe not supposed to be in, things like that. It'd be easy for them to sneak in somewhere where they're unknown. When they're recognized, you're looking at minor discounts at shops, occasionally free meals or stays at inns, and unsolicited advice. I like this idea that it's like, you're recognized now. This guy leans over and goes, you're heading over to Girtha's for this quest. I know something about Girtha's. Maybe they give this kind of advice. Reputable, you're now invited to local events, so this is kind of fun when they start to feel famous, and they should have done enough work to probably earn this by now. They're going to be recognized by people, maybe mayors, captains of guards, just more of your head honchos of the town, but probably not like a king. You're probably looking at barons and dukes. They get easier access to restricted info or areas because they can be trusted, most likely by these groups, so they may let them into their inner sanctums. And you might get retainers or local followers. So if you like Matthew Colville's guide, this might be the time where you give them the follower and guild sheet if you're going to be doing that. I don't know if it's Followers and Strongholds. It's the second book he released. If you want to run that book, this might be the time where you give them a power structure because they're going to be this for a long time. Getting to famous is going to take a while. They're more likely going to reach reputable with multiple factions before they reach famous with one, depending on how you're running your game. But once they do become famous, now they're going to get significant discounts or gifts from merchants, and realize at this point that they're probably level 10 to 15 and money's not really an object to them. Nobles might seek them for council to hire, so now they're going to be possibly given land or titles in exchange for the money that they would have earned. They get access to private and influential events, so before they might have been invited to festivals and whatnot to raise morale. Now they're being invited as members of esteem to galas, balls, coronations, things like that. Lesser encounters might avoid you. I think this will be a real tease, is when they finally, get encountered by bandits while they're sleeping in the road, and they literally go up and go, "Do you know who we are?" And the bandits go, "Oh, we do. Peace." That would be kind of fun. And then lastly, you have Legendary, where you have universal recognition. This is when you are a hero of legend. Of course, everyone knows your name. When you die, it becomes your sword. It's, it's no longer just the sword of that I found in a crypt. It's the sword of Anton von Nebner, and it has a magical property because when he got it forged from a fire giant, that's what it had. They might be gifted artifacts or treasures for safekeeping or for just, political favor. Their access to the most extreme and exclusive places in the world is probably unlimited. They have potential holidays, titles, or events named in their honor. I think that'll give them a big head and have a lot of fun with that. And people want to be on your good side. With all of these, I'm hoping to maybe make an inverted chart that I will print on the back of this, in which there are these negatives for being famous. For being famous, you can't do stealth checks in public areas. If you're legendary, you certainly can't. But while you're anonymous, you might get advantage in certain areas. Just something that they could look, and you don't tell them they need to do it. You may remember for them, but really this is a sheet for them to look at and them to hopefully find things. They might say, "Hey, we're recognized with this group. Can we do that?" Let them do that work. Don't put this on your DM side. We made this sheet so that it's easy for you to just hand them to the player. Nice. It prints out pretty easy. You hand that to the players and tell them to keep track, and they'll be asking you, instead of "did we level up," is if we don't take gold, maybe we give us some more notoriety, things like that. It gives you something else to offer, so that in my case, this promotes the value of being a hero versus just being another mercenary. Defeating big people, things like that, will get you known in certain circles. So maybe the bigger the baddie they take down, they do it. You can reward notoriety however you want. I do recommend you reward it in smaller chunks. The higher level they get, the quicker they can earn it. Depending on the faction, they're not just going to suddenly do a quest to get to 10 immediately. I think it should always be 2 or 3 quests or 1 grand quest to move up a level. So don't just slay the local hag, slay the local king, and maybe that's an instant move to reputable within that city. I think it's exciting to gain and lose favor, so it'll be fun when they first earn it, and it'll be fun when they first lose it. Maybe not for them, but for me. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I should have in the description down below a link to the Canva that I used to print this. I don't know if you'll need an account to download it or not, but I made this on Canva with all free elements, so feel free, go down there, download it. It'll be really easy for you to run and use, and it's printer friendly. And I appreciate you all for watching this video. If you have any questions, like I said, down below.